Alright, here we go. Boss battle against Arsenal at the end of Chapter 17 on hard. Save your ATB gauge abilities to use on the main cannon. When it goes to fire, it becomes a weak spot.
I'll show you what I can do.
Use Maximum Fury at level 2 or Barret's Overcharge will instantly stagger that, so it stops the firing of the main cannon. All your normal attacks should, at the start, attack Barrier Drone B. Red 13 will step in and attack that one and instantly stagger it for you so that you can start the dropping of the barrier process. There are 3 drones you have to get rid of to drop the barrier just to get to the second phase of this fucking boss fight. Now, that's the back laser. That thing can do a lot of damage, as you can tell, if it hits you with all of it. So I would recommend just getting behind a fucking pillar when you see that purple light go off. Get both characters behind some kind of cover. If you want to go with a more offensive method, if you can get one person in front and one person behind, when that purple laser goes off, you can use your abilities to stagger the laser too. It's really hard to do because that purple laser goes off super quick by comparison to the main cannon, but it can be done. In between all this laser dodge main cannon bullshit, try to take out those barrier drones as fast as you can to drop this barrier so that you can get to phase 2. Aerith's base attack is actually better than Barret's base attack hitting the barrier drones.
This one's for you. Why don't you lead the way?
If early on with Aerith you can chuck down an ATB ward so that at least one character can get a gauge boost, that would really help. Also with Aerith, if you can throw Fleeting Familiar out as fast as you can so it adds to her basic attack and ATB gauge build, that'll help a lot too. Now, this fucking Arsenal has 4 different phases, if I'm not mistaken, all of which are a massive pain in the ass. It has resistances to time, so be very sparing when you go to use the time, the stop magic on it. I would recommend a very specific time to use it. Do not waste it during the first 3 phases. Just save your time magic. After you drop the barrier, though, you can hit it with thunder and fire magic. That does tend to help, but it has defensive countermeasures for magic attacks, so I really don't recommend using too much of it. Not to mention your MP is probably low as fuck, and you're going to want to save that to raise people if they die. I would also recommend that Aerith and Barret both have the Iron Maiden armor equipped. Have one of them actually have Barret with a championship belt and Aerith with a revival earring, so that she can come back when she dies, because she probably will, and Barret will be able to take more damage because his defense is crazy at this point. And don't forget when you're playing with Barret to charge cancel. Notice whenever he finishes a round shooting his gun, he has to reload it. The charge function animation is faster than the reload animation, so when you run out of bullets, just hit triangle and charge, and it'll reload for you and add to your overcharge gauge. It's a nifty little charge cancel thing. Anytime you play with Barret, I recommend doing it. Now, this thing has pretty good resistances and defensive measures, but it does have a weakness to magical attacks. So the two weapons I suggest you equip are the EKG cannon and the mithril staff for Aerith. Both of those should probably be higher in magical damage than physical damage. Yeah, see, I stopped him here, and even with him stopped, I couldn't stagger that fucking back laser. And I believe, yeah, see. I just could not stagger that fucking thing. Now, the good thing about the first two phases of this battle is, as long as you don't get hit with these charged up attacks and his ram, the rest of the damage is fairly negligible, and you can pretty much manage to keep everybody alive and just use that damage to build your limit gauge. Which you will need quite a large amount of limits going off. At least I did, to beat this son of a bitch on hard. And try not to bank on Red 13 being there past that first battle drone, or barrier drone stagger, because he just does, you see him over there in the corner. Every now and again he just drops a basic attack. You can also sort of use the camera angle and the cover to protect yourself and and get shots at the same time. This is one of the phase 2 attacks, that fire barrier he puts up. It goes down on two sides, and if you're caught in the middle, you're stuck there until the flames go out, which is about 90 seconds. So when you see that, when you see both his arms charge up, at least try to get one person away from those fire trails.
So it's my turn? Okay.
See, there's limit break number 1. It staggered him, opened up his weak spot.
You can do it. I'll show you what I can do. This one's for you. Don't give up now, you guys. That's it. Red level critical.
Here comes phase 3. There's the phase 3 attack edition. That is an instant death weapon. It takes quite a while for it to charge up. As you can see, the first thing it does is show you the fucking attack. But if it hits you, as far as I can tell, it's almost always 8,000 damage or more. See how quickly that Judgment Ray dropped that main cannon? See, now it's charging up that super attack. Now, if you're behind a pillar, you'll be okay. If you're behind just random debris on the ground, you'll be okay for a few seconds, then it'll blast the debris away and you'll still take a little bit of damage. So in the early stages of the fight, only use the pillars if you really have to. because you're going to want to save those for this massive blue fuck you attack that he's going to drop.
Take care of this.
You can also use your stop magic to stop him while he's charging that to help you stagger it before it goes off. And there's the double fire trail attack. Thankfully, Aerith was behind the motherfucker when it went off.
Why don't you lead the way?
See how having one in front and one behind, it's really the best way to go when you're fighting this thing. The only problem is it's hard as fuck to do on hard mode because you can't disable the wheels very quick.
Tagging out.
Yeah, see how quickly it just gets rid of that ground cover. Now, when he does that ram attack, if you have him close enough to a wall
You can do it.
and you dodge, you can actually stun him when he smashes into that wall, and you can get an open spot on his back to attack for a little bit. That's a hard one to pull though, because you kind of have to kite him into the wall to get it to work.
Why don't you lead the way?
Now, pray, if you're going to use the prayer materia, you should have it mastered for this fight anyway.
So it's my turn? Go on.
See how long it takes to charge this up. When it goes off though, it will kill whatever it hits. You can also use the pillars to guard against these things and kinda use it as a guard to keep hitting it but be protected at the same time.
You can do it.
And I got lucky with the placement to have the ATB ward there for Barret behind the bastard when he set the trail move off.
For a shot.
Had no idea what to do.
It's your turn.
A Ray of Judgment will stop that supercharged move right out of the gate, as you just saw. Now here's Phase 4. Phase 4 is completely a pain in the ass. He sets that off and starts his move. The first thing you want to do is stop him and freeze that motherfucker so his charge ceases. Because you have to get rid of the last bit of that life
This one's for
before he sets this shot off. It will kill both of you no matter what your life is at. It takes a long ass while to charge up,
you. Take over for me.
and he'll just keep doing it. Unfortunately, like, I had a pillar there, and that opens up this shot here. But there's no guarantee that you're gonna have that. So when this Phase 4 happens,
I'll show you.
hopefully you have a lot of shit you can drop on this motherfucker to end this fight.
We can't hide. What do we do?
Stop at your chest.
That's it. One more shot. Cut. It's your
And
turn.
that's it. The Ray of Judgment ended him again. That thing was a savior for this fight.
Damn, does it feel good to be alive?
Quite. But we could still die later tonight.
Yeah,
Cloud and Tifa could be dead already.
the hell they are.
And we need to find a way we can all escape, and quickly.
You're right. Let's go.